All right. Yay. A song of ice and fire on a sport of ice and fire. How is everybody doing tonight? It is me, Scott. It's Sporking News Podcast, and Grant Gregory, Mr. Grant Gregory. And we're going to be talking some theories tonight, but we're also going to do some trivia, which was going to be a game between multiple people, but now it's just going to be Mr. Grant Gregory embarrassing the hell out of me with my knowledge. Because he's just going to ask me questions and I'm going to probably do terrible. But what are you going to do? And we've been talking about big changes maybe to the channel because why not? Why not? You know? But Grant, how you doing tonight?
Yeah, doing good, man. Happy to talk about the title. Intrigued me about saying were you wrong about Catelyn Stark's treatment of Jon Snow?
Yeah.
So I think it was summed up best in the chat where it said
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Next topic.
Right here. Westeros Whispers, which is a great name. Yeah. No, next topic. Yeah, it could easily be that. And we'll find out, So we're gonna take a look at it right off. Let's just get to it. I'm on the wrong thing there. Okay.
I mean, it couldn't be any worse than time traveling baby Tyrion. So
it's amazing. Oh man, that was great. Okay, it might be hard for you guys to read, so I will read. So this is
and
from
big
one
in
of I did, but the side gets all like embiggened. That's not bad. Yeah, then it just shows you this. That's dumb.
Then scroll down.
Oh yeah, you're right. It'll have my
There we
stuff
go.
down below. No, it'll have it above. Or down below.
Comments are further down.
I don't like that. I don't like that it's all the way down.
Yeah, that's how they
Oh,
do
look
it.
at that. Those crazy people at YouTube. Okay, so this is what we got here. I tried to move it on the other screen. That was dumb. So, costs, Kostyar Gritigi for GT43. Kosti Argaritiki. Yeah, close enough. This is to the question of, not even a question. It was a statement. Like, Catelyn Stark's the worst. She's terrible. And he goes, or she, no, I don't agree. If you read carefully, you would have noticed that Sansa, already at the age of 6, exclamation point, oppressed Jon Snow, or here is his behavior at the feast is very remarkable. All right, so the oppressed Jon Snow, like that right there should tell you, yeah, if you read carefully, she treats him like her mother, who she is so much alike. She has that Tully, she is a Tully, and she treats Jon Snow just like his mom treats Jon Snow. So I don't understand that part of this. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I still having a hard time understanding what they're saying. Like, if you notice that Sansa already at the age of 6 oppressed Jon Snow, like, are they saying that Sansa's also a cunt? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's kind of like, it's not just, I think the person's leaning in, it's Jon's, issue. It's not theirs. They're just reacting to him.
So they're saying the argument that if one person bumps into you, that you're an asshole, but if 20 people bump into you, so it's your fault. So in other words,
maybe.
So if everyone's oppressing you, it's your fault. Is that
It
what they're
could
saying?
be. I don't know. We're gonna figure that out. So let's see. And the or gets me a little, but here is his behavior at the feast, or her. Here is his behavior at the feast. Very remarkable. For the first time in his life, he was seated with the servants. Does he actually say that? I don't think he says it's his first time not sitting at the high table.
No. He just says they wouldn't have him at the high table.
Yeah. And because she didn't want to offend Cersei or some shit like that.
Well, I mean, we're assuming that it was Catelyn's doing. We don't know. It could have easily been Ned's.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't,
Do you really want a Targaryen sitting so close to the guy that killed all the Targaryens?
Exactly. Like, do you want him to even look at him and maybe see something of Rhaegar in his eyes or something, if he is Rhaegar's son? Yeah, that's a good point, man. I never would have thought of that. It could have been Ned saying, no, I don't want him anywhere near Robert. The least is best. Like, I'll have to have him, I can't make it obvious, but I definitely will go with keep him away. And who wouldn't, leave a bastard out of sitting at the high table? All right. So he got drunk. Yeah. He's a kid getting hammered. Became hysterical. I mean, he got upset because I feel like his uncle Benjamin kind of set him up for it, telling him how great the Night's Watch is, brothers and this and brothers and that. It doesn't matter your past, and then tells him no, you can't make it. I don't know it, and then he goes to the Night's Watch. So that's not his whole life with Cat. That's like the end, you know. What up, Bodega? So it goes on with those examples, by no means the only ones. The author hints to the reader that there may be a problem in Jon Snow himself, drama queen. I think he's the exact opposite. Usually, he's usually quiet and observed. It's even said that bastards learn to, read people and read the room to survive.
I mean, let's just say, even if that was the case, he's a 14-year-old kid and she's an adult. Or was he 12? He's 14. He's 14. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this part, okay, but one can look at the situation through Kat's eyes as well. The bastard is a witness to her husband's treason. He's a symbol, maybe, of his treason to her. I guess that's what they mean. He's not a witness to it. He's a symbol of it. And moreover, he shames her for the whole of Westeros.
Like I get that from
maybe,
her standpoint. I always understood the fact that matters. Like,
yeah,
every other house who has a bastard lives in the thing, but you're the bastard from Ned's one.
Yeah.
The most predominant house in the entire land.
Right.
He lives with you.
Yeah.
He bathes with you. He supposedly eats with you.
Right. Yeah. You're right. I mean, and if I can find it real quick, the quote on it is probably the one time I'm like, oh yeah, she's absolutely right. Here we go. Game of Thrones, all books, and then I just I want to get it perfect because she does say it right. Hey, Sonny, what's up? And Adega's here, and Sonny's here. Always love having Sonny, Frank. I can't speak all week. I've been stuttering. Sonny, Frank, my coworkers at work are like, "You having like a slow stroke of some sort?" Down in the Floridas. So yeah, I just put into that little chat AI. What were you gonna say? Because I felt it, and it says Catelyn Stark's feelings on Jon living at Winterfell, and I'm just waiting for it to find it.
I was gonna say, whenever they ask that, you just go, "Yeah," but take a minute to answer.
That's a good. I like that. Who else do we have out there? Anybody out there in the chat? Please let us know who's here and your feelings on Catelyn Stark. Why is this taken? I have like the worst service for some reason.
Yeah, I know. I think it's something like it's bad enough that he's got to be paraded around. And
well, it's not even that. She even said like, I was aware and ready for him to have bastards. She was ready for it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I hate when they do this. They give you like everything else, but his presence became worse. Cat says she might have overlooked a dozen bastards for Ned's sake, so long as they were out of sight. But Jon was never out of sight. So I can understand, like, that is the one time you can agree with her. Like, yeah, like having him live with you is messed up. And like for the honorable Ned Stark, it's like all of Westeros knows him as this honorable guy, but yet he cheated on his wife once. We all know that.
Yes, he did, allegedly, but also the circumstance was we don't even know if they betted or anything, because
Oh
They
no, they
did.
didn't.
Wasn't it the next day that he was there? The shotgun wedding. He got married and then he went off.
Well, yeah, because he had to whoever. Well, yeah. I mean, technically, they betted before he left because Rob was then born like 10 months later, but John was already, Liana, if it was her, was pregnant with already about to give birth to John, so, or not, but within a few months. So,
Yeah.
because they're a couple months apart. So, yeah, they definitely, he planted one in her before he left because you have to bet. I mean, they have the betting ceremony and everything. So, even if yeah, he stepped in for his brother, it wasn't like Marjorie and Tommen, because Tommen was so much younger, they didn't do the betting thing, but they will force you to do this because you're
Yeah.
both adults.
Yeah. I figured as much.
Yeah.
They did try and change. They did try and change it. They had that one or two lines in the show that wasn't in the book about
Mm-hmm.
her
Her
praying by his
that he
praying
would
by his
die,
bed
and
that
then
that that he would survive and everything like that.
well,
That
that she first prayed he would die, and then he got
Yeah.
that fever, and she prayed that to all the gods that if he survived, she would be nicer to him, and she wasn't because she's a bitch. Um, Sonny says Catelyn went out of her way to be mean to John and make him feel unwanted. Right, because she she's threatened by John. I mean, she tells us that. Like she's worried about like the Black Fire. I mean, I love how she also brings up the Black Fire Rebellion because he is, most likely a Targaryen, and she doesn't even realize that she's talking about a Targaryen, which the
Yeah.
Black
She's
Fire
talking about
Rebellion,
the
yeah.
like there was the Blackfire Rebellion. The thing that was unique about it was something that every single house went through at some stage of
Mm-hmm.
nobility,
Yeah.
where you've got an illegitimate kid,
Mm-hmm.
that's just like, well, I mean, I shouldn't be punished for the fact that my parents weren't married. I've got the royal blood, or I've got the legal right, blah blah. I should have this house. It was just
Well,
on a larger scale.
but it's not even that because she tries to imply that, but the thing is Ned wouldn't legitimize John, and that's what Aegon the Unworthy did. He
Yeah,
legitimized, you know, like
everyone.
he legitimized them all. Bloodraven, Bittersteel, they were all legitimized. They didn't even have to take a Blackfire name. That was just because he gave the sword Blackfire to Daemon. I guess what do they call him in King's Landing? Waters. I think it's Waters.
Um,
Um, in King's Landing,
yeah.
so like he took the name Blackfire because of the sword being given to him, like and he also had courts, and she's right. If he was legitimized, there would be people that want to take advantage of that, like a Bolton, who would, you know, try to persuade John that he would be the better ruler after Ned, or John's
Well,
children.
if he was legitimized, he would be the ruler after Ned.
Yeah, true,
Yeah,
very true.
yeah. So they wouldn't. I mean, I get that if she was, maybe she was hoping that he would snap
Well,
at her, and then Ned would see, and then he would banish him. You know.
yeah, I don't know. Even if you legitimize them, like who's older, Daron Targaryen, or was it Daron the second, or his brother? Any of the bastards, are they older than him? Because I think Daron was older than all of them. Because you're right. I was thinking, oh, if you legitimize them, even that wouldn't help but you legitimize them. So you
You
technically
legitimize them. Yeah, they're like it's the same thing.
you're
Like
washing the stain of bastardy away from him. Yeah, you're right.
Ramsey gets legitimized. He's now next in line, even though there is a younger brother around.
Yeah, he says Ned, then Rob, then John. But if he
No,
legitimizes him now,
no, because John's older than Rob.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's the thing. If you legitimize, okay, so say for instance, let's just use it like if Robert legitimized any of his bastards in King's Landing,
Mm-hmm.
they would be in over Joffrey, and on the assumption that Joffrey is Robert's. Let's just say that
Right.
it is.
Yeah,
So
let's say,
any of the bastards that he had that are older,
yep.
um, then if they were legitimized, they would be the next in line.
Right. Right. Yeah. So
Because you've
because I was
legitimized them,
trying to,
which
even though,
was the reason that was so stupid in the TV show when fucking Gendry was legitimized by fucking what do you call it, Daenerys.
yeah,
You just
legitimize
literally legitimize the current
someone who
ruler.
could,
So now he's now, you just said he's legitimized. You're just like, okay, cool. You do realize that makes me king now.
it does, like,
It
literally,
literally just makes
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, like he's the son of Robert Targaryen or Robert Baratheon.
Robert Baratheon. I'm now
You just,
legitimized as Robert Baratheon by
yeah,
a law in this country. I'm now
yeah,
technically king. I
yeah,
have more right to this throne at the moment because there is a direct line descent to my family.
yeah. It was dumb.
And she's like, "Oh, this will create an ally forever." I'm like, "No, it won't. This will do the exact opposite."
What she should have done was like legitimize him with a different surname.
That's
You are
exactly right.
now Lord Gendry of Fleabot. I don't care, but you're taking over this
It's like,
ancestral
we're going
house.
to reward you. Here, have Harrenhal. And he's like, "Yeah, oh,
Yeah, and that's why with Edric, they were all trying to get a hands on him because Edric,
yeah,
and they were protecting him because the guys that have him now at Storm's End, I believe he's at Storm's End. I don't think he's on. No, he wouldn't be on Dragonstone. He was taken to Storm's End with Stannis, but like they love him. They want to protect him. They do not. They have no love for Stannis.
yeah."
So um I love Levin Alpha knows a lot of shit. Like I didn't know the Longwaters were a Targaryen bastard house. I didn't know that. I don't even
I guess
know
it
where
makes sense.
yeah, waters in the name.
Yeah.
All right. No, yeah. So even if his first legitimate son with his wife is younger than the legitimized son, that legitimized son would become ruler. Yeah, so that would be dumb. And Ned would never do that. And who would then legitimize them after the fact? That would be dumb. And Kat's always worried, well, maybe not John, but his children's children may come after. What? Like, make him a Sir John, Lord John Bow, and give him a castle, some like a cadet line, and let him lead that, like you would do with Bran. Or Bran would start a cadet house, just like the Car Starks are a cadet house of the Starks. He could be the Barks. I don't know. Renifer Longwaters is the Undergaller in the Red Keep. Now, is Renifer the one that
Under jailer.
yeah, the jailer. I always pronounce. I knew it was like the jailer, but I thought it's pronounced Gowler.
No, it's jailer.
Oh, he just wrote it weird.
Gaol is jail.
Oh, I
It's a
always
proper
pronounce.
way of spelling. It's a proper way of spelling jail. It was just
Is it an
changed because
English
people.
way? Is it
Yeah.
like a proper old English?
Yep.
Dude, I did not know that. I thought it was jailer, but it was pronounced Gowler. Hey,
No.
you learned some new things. Was he the Renifer the one that went missing, or that reported Varys, when he was the jailer, disappearing? I can't remember. Brian goes on to say, officially, Robb Stark is considered the older of the two. This is based on the widely accepted theory that Robb was conceived on the wedding night of Ned and Kat. John is younger than Robb. No, he's not. John was born before Robb. Now, I don't remember if Ned ever lied about that, because I think I want to say, but yeah, Lyanna was pregnant way before, a couple months, I would say, before Kat.
It's widely accepted that Robb
John's younger.
is the heir.
Yeah,
That's yeah.
but I even think Ned fudged his age, right? Or is it
Yeah,
listed that
the
Robb's
kids. That's
older?
what I said. We made the joke. The kid's coming back walking. He's like, look at our newborn.
Exactly. I think Renifer just has a scene where he boasts of his ancestry to Jamie. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, someone looked at, can you look it up on Wiki, or do you want me to? if
All right, I'll have a look.
their
So,
ages, date of births. But what,
okay.
because I always felt like John was older, but Ned told them that Rob was older just so there would be no issue because he's considered his bastard. Um, let's see, where do we go? Okay, so we never said it. I never read the. Oh yeah, treason. But all she wanted was for him to be banished from Winterfell, which is what anyone would want if they were her. Of course, you're right. Does she have to hide her displeasure with the bastard? No, but she doesn't have to treat him like shit, and because she's too scared to say anything to her husband about it after he they brought up his maybe mother and he freaked out on her. Of course not. Let him sulk all he wants if he's so sensitive. Dude, and that's all the harm she's done to him. This woman was so mentally abusive to him that when Rob came down after she said, I wish it was you that died, not my, was in the bed, not Bran, um, and that you can't even say goodbye to him. When he comes down and just has a look on his face, Rob right away says, my mother, and he covers for her. But that's why Rob said it, because it happens so often that she just berated him in front of everybody. She's a biatch. And let's
Okay,
not
so
yeah.
the only mention of age when it comes to it is in an interview that Martin said. Martin said Robbie's a few months older than John. It's never
Okay.
stated in the books.
Never stated
but that's
in the books.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I know,
Okay.
I looked at it,
'Cause
but because John always refers to Rob as his big brother.
Right, but I always assumed that was Ned fudging the dates,
Yeah.
to fit that he did it in war, not the other way around. That he had this affair before they got married and he was older because he knew what that would cause. Like she would probably she would definitely have him banished, or if he wouldn't let that happen, she would make sure there was an accident.
So I think the thing of it is because how it was stated was Catelyn had a long birth with Rob,
Mhm.
and if we're going on the assumption of who uh, John's parentage is, he wasn't due then. He came early.
Who? Rob?
John.
John.
So
Yeah.
while let's just say for instance the conceiving dates could be one after the other, the time when they gave birth to each other could be the thing that's
Yeah. So yeah, because Brian's saying this, Rob is definitely older, but he's not. I understand what you're saying. Bobby's rebellion lasted about a year. Rob was born 9 months into the rebellion. That's not true. Because when the rebellion started, Ned was in the Erie and he had to make it all the way up to Winterfell, call his banners, and then march down to River Run, marry her, impregnate her, then leave. So there was already a couple months into the battle.
I think it was almost half the war was already done because
it was
that's why
close
he
to
had
that
to come
because
back
Rob had well
because his
Bob
brother died. That's why he had to come back.
Right. And his brother was killed. His brother was killed, and then John Aaron was told to send Robert and Ned to King's Landing. He then raised his banners in rebellion, and that's when it started. So when that happened, Ned had to leave. Robert made it to the Stormlands and had multiple battles, and it wasn't until he got hurt and then the Battle of the Bells where Daenerys lost because she hates bells. That's the reason. No, where John Cotton lost, was about to defeat Robert and capture him, and Ned then shows up for that battle. So there was 3 or 4 battles before that. So Ned made it. He took he got to the Fingers or something, got a boat. That boat, there was the captain died, the daughter made it. He made it to Manderley's place. Then he had to go all the way to Winterfell, raise his banners, wait for his banners, then go down to River Run. So that definitely wasn't day one of the rebellion. So I would say Rob was at least 2 months in to 3 months in and was probably born right after or about the same time as John. You know what I mean? Like he must have been, because then Ned goes all the way to Starfall and then comes all the way back up, and she's with her babe and he has a babe. So who's the older one? I really think there's conflict there. No way we know either Rob or John is
Yeah.
older. I just think, you know what
The only, as I said, the only information that we have is George saying that he's older, but he
Right.
didn't write that. That's what
Right.
they're saying. Like it's not specifically stated in there,
Yeah.
and I think that's done specifically on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, but that you're right. That's the official. He had John with a woman, a camp follower, most likely, on campaign. So he didn't get involved after he got married and already impregnated, you know, Cat. So if
Yeah.
it was supposedly after, but I don't think it was really after. He was just a big baby, she thought. Do you think Varys is really Yennefer and the Varys is from the bastard line of the Targaryens? Well, I think one of them disappears. A jailer disappears, which was Varys. I don't know if it was Yennefer, but I know that that's a good, even if he's not from the Long Waters, he is from a bastard line of the Targaryens.
Or his egg.
Yeah, or he's egg, which Stig is devoutly thinking that. Johnny Skinwalker says, "Oh my God, stop it! Bow down to my goddess cat." You hear John is emo. He deserved all the hate. And then Levin Alpha Sunny, I think Varys is from the Targaryen line. I know he had a hidden identity in the Black Cells, but likely not Yennefer. Yeah, most likely not. He's either Blackfire or he's egg. And then we have the great Mad Cheesemo with Skirt. What's Gucci? My ninjas. Yeah, something like that. All right. So he doesn't believe she mentally abused him and he was just sulking. I completely disagree with that.
I mean, both could be true. He could just be sulking, but he could also be, verbally abused at the same time. Those two aren't exclusive from each other.
We never hear that he sulks a lot, though. We hear that he's quiet.
We see it later on in seasons.
Yes,
but we never hear about it in the books.
Yeah, in the books, he was just a good bastard. He knew his place.
Yeah, he was very
like trying not to be seen.
Yeah, he was extremely well disciplined, intelligent, but not to the point where he never outshone his brother, even when he could have.
Yeah. Rob was the rebel. Okay. What I'm saying is we don't know exactly when Rob was born. Was it born during the Ruby Ford battle where Rhaegar dies? Was he born after the siege of King's Landing, after the siege of Storm's End? I don't remember them telling us exactly when he's born. We just know that when Ned gets back, he's there because Kat says, he returns with a babe and a woman while I have his babe. It's something to that effect. We never hear he was born right before the Storm's End.
And you got to also understand from her perspective at this stage, she doesn't know the guy.
Yeah.
At this stage, the kids spend more time with him than she has.
Wait a minute. Ned runs off to witness the birth and give John, I'm guessing you meant to put there an alibi. What? I don't. To be fair, from Kat's perspective, she does not know exactly how old John is. She might fear Ned sired John. Right. And that was the Ashara Dane thing. Like, she does have this feeling that maybe he was before they got married. That's why she brings up a
Well,
shard
why
name.
is it? Why doesn't she ask him about the name again? See what happens.
Yeah. Slap a bitch. Rob is born at River Run with the help of Lewin, so they could be like, yeah, Lewin is all. Mike does. What is up, man? Good to see
It's
you.
amazing. Lewin, lion, sounds very
Yeah,
similar.
Lewin line. Yeah, cat, bitch, almost the same. Yeah.
But I mean, Brian, you could be right. I'm just saying from what we've
Yes, same here.
read.
Yeah.
I can only go off what we read. The fact that George said that that's what it is. I mean, he's the one that creates the canon.
Right.
But I don't know if it was one of those ones where he didn't explicitly say it in the text for a reason, or he thought that he implied enough for people to get that.
Right.
Because we don't know, as I said, we don't know how long each birth was. We don't know how long, each pregnancy was.
Right.
And from that quote that he said, yeah, Robbie's older by a few months, is what he says.
Yeah, that's what he tells us.
That's what George said in an interview. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he tells us. Based on provided sources, Rob Stark was born around 282 or 283 AC. Around. So it could be the end of 282, the beginning of 283. So.
I agree with
And
you,
they
Matt.
even say Rob is described as a boy of 15 years or a youth of 16. Like, it's like, one source explicitly states he was 16 a few days past, but that was when I think during the battles. The timeline fits, if Catelyn and Ned married around 15 years prior to the start of the war, which seems to be around 298 AC, and Ned notes, Rob's first daughter would be 17 or 18. Robert's first daughter would be 17 or 18. Fitting Robert's birth year is 262 AC.
Because at the beginning of Game of Thrones, both Jon and Rob are 14.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They are both 14. Yep.
Yep.
All
right.
Mad's got a point. You want to highlight that one?
Who does?
Mad.
Oh, Mad says, just saw the title. No, you're not wrong. She was a horrific, coot.
See you next Tuesday.
Oh, something like that. The Night King treated those babies 10 times better, and Jon would have had a better life with him. Well said. Well said. Grant, I'm just going by write-ups. I haven't read the books we nerds we discussed. Except, oh yeah, of course, no one's coming at you, man. We're just saying you're completely, utterly wrong. No, just kidding. Send Mads beyond the Great Ice Wall. Well, he's been looking for the ice wall, Mad. So
it'll help with any overheating problems he has.
Yeah. And the last paragraph says, and let's not forget his incredible insolence. He was told to leave, so let him leave and know his place. The bastard gave her daughter a battle weapon and turned Arya against her own sister.
He didn't turn her against
Jon.
No.
Yeah.
Arya and Jon had always been close.
Right.
And she didn't like the fact the way that Sansa treated him. That was all on her. The fact that he was the catalyst for it has nothing to do with him.
Right. Yeah, that makes no sense there. It's like, and Arya, he gave her Needle because he knew how Arya was. She was a tomboy, and that's why her and Sansa didn't get along.
They wouldn't let her practice bow and arrow.
Right.
But she did it by herself.
Was the greatest. She was still the greatest.
Yeah. And the other ones were just doing it. She was determined to, like, it made sense. Like, she had nothing else to do. Like, she's not the lady of Winterfell. She's never going to be. She's going to be sold off to a smaller house.
Yeah, and she
probably a Karstark or something.
Right, something like that. Man, sucked to be a woman in those days.
But then again, also, you're giving a 9-year-old a dagger.
So stop shedding tears for poor Snow. If he's offended by any hint of his origins, he should thank his father. I mean, yeah, Ned is definitely to blame for John not knowing his parentage. Um, you know, he dies though.
I'll tell you next time I see you, dickhead.
Yeah, even at the end when John bleeds out. Yeah, she is. She's the worst. And even in the show, like the Battle of the Bastards, you almost think she's just gonna let him die. She has like a wicked smile, like I'm gonna let you all die. And then they let her, even
Made
though he
no
can't.
sense to hold the whole like that whole scene made no sense.
No sense. No sense.
And also in the Battle of the Bastard, it was a bitch that saved the day.
Let's see. Based on sources provided and our conversation history, we can determine Jon Snow's age, particularly around the beginning of the main events of the story when he leaves Winterfell. When pleading with his uncle Benjen Stark to join arranging into the haunted forest, Jon states, "I'm almost a man grown. I will turn 15 on my next name day." So he starts out at 14. They both are 14.
They're both at 14, yep. They're both at 14. Sansa is 11, Arya is 9, Bran is 7, and Rickon is 3, I do believe.
Right.
In the show, I think Rob and John are both supposed to be 18 or 19.
Yeah, a little older.
So if you add 4 years to all those ages, so you'd say Arya is probably 13.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Bran about 11. That makes sense.
Yeah. Therefore, the sources strongly indicate that Jon Snow was 14 or turning 15 when he left Winterfell and arrived at the Wall. And he had just turned 15 shortly after beginning his training there and meeting Tyrion. He is perceived and referred to as being young, though progressive towards manhood and talking about adults. Okay, whatever. So,
do we know anything about Rob's birthday?
No.
I don't remember ever Rob celebrating a birthday or getting a present or
No. No. There is a part after his father's death when they talk about him just maybe turning 16. I think he dies at the age of 16.
Yeah.
But again, what I'm saying is we don't know because if Ned fudged the numbers to make him a month younger, like we really don't know when John was born. So.
All we know is up to where we are in the story, John's older than Rob.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, definitely. Because Rob never made it past any other age. Yeah.
Because he outlived him for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Germ could declare that because you know what? The news about him has been weird. So, like 56 days ago, George R. R. Martin, in a rare interview, says Winds of Winter is coming pretty well. That was 56 days ago. All right.
He also said, was it?
Well, yeah.
This will be the curse of me or something.
That was 19 days ago. So what happened in like that 40 days? Not even 40, 19 days, 56. So almost like, yeah, like under 40 days. This is the 56 days ago or whatever. What's up, man? Shadow Hawk. Oh, I always want to say Shadow Hawk. Shadow of Hawk 55.
I can't hear you, Shadow.
You're muted. Okay. There's always the books. I am aware of the people think that, but no, I have to get back. I have to finish the books. That's the one thing I'm completely in control of. There's no budget limit. There's no other executives on the student, blah, blah, blah. I'm reading. The books are what I'm going to make them. And I think that the one I'm writing is coming pretty well, but I wish it would come faster. So that was 56 days ago.
The one I'm writing.
The one
Not the
I'm
Winds of
writing.
Winter. The one I'm writing.
You would think he would say Winds of Winter, right?
Yeah, you think he would.
But no, he says the one I'm writing. Right there.
I feel like he's in a
Playing the
mindset
game.
enough that he'll write a 100-page thing where basically like Jon Snow was actually the savior. He bled out, and now it's literally just it's told from the perspective of the White Walkers, and they're just wiping everyone out, and everyone's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what we're gonna get. What's up, Shadow?
I mean, not much. Is my mic working now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we hear, buddy.
Yeah. Sorry for new stream. I forgot that this was every other Sunday or every Sunday. I thought this was for some stupid reason every other Sunday.
It's Tuesday. Wow, you're shot.
Tuesday.
Just kidding.
Tuesday.
No,
Well,
it's
I'm
every-
also a Zoomer, so I'm legally required to be mentally defunct. So there is
okay.
that.
I respect that. I respect that. Yeah,
Yeah.
every Tuesday you are more than welcome to jump on. I've been thinking about actually just making Sporking News I was talking to Grant about it, just my A Song of Ice and Fire channel, and starting a aluminum spork channel for my ancient histories and stuff like that. So keep
Sure.
Brian, I know you would follow me, my aluminum spork. Who else? But yeah. So the books are what I'm gonna make them. And I think this one I'm writing is coming pretty well. Now that was 56 days ago. Now, is it this one? Yeah, it's this one, I think.
It was the interview where he was wearing that stupid hat. That one.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Okay. On this, the author said that the book was the curse of my life. He conveyed. There's no doubt Winds of Winter is 13 years late, almost 14. I'm still working on it. I have periods where I make progress, then other things divert my attention. And suddenly I have a deadline for one of the HBO shows. I have something else to do. So remember that video I played where he's like, it has nothing to do with it. If I open up a coffee shop, I'm not making coffee. But yes, this diverts him away. So stop doing the shit. You sold it. Make the money and just write your book.
I mean, part of it might be contractual obligations where he may have to, like, he may have thought, oh, well, I could have done this, and then he got the money, and then he realizes the workload's too much, but he's kind of locked into writing these writing these scripts.
Yeah, I don't know about that because he didn't write a script after season 4 or 5 of Game of Thrones. I don't think he has to do that. They ask him and he does. That's the problem. He didn't write any for House of the Dragon. He might be writing like some of the ones that are not in development yet. He's writing like, what it might be about, this and that, but the ones that are in development, he has to find a showrunner and help HBO with that and this and that. So
also, we're also got to remember the fact he's a notorious liar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen the scripts for season 2, and I think they're great. They come out, man. I never liked these. Like, wait a minute, you told us. I've got it on your not a blog.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how much of that is contractually obligated hype, and then contract like the season 8 interviews for the actors, where it's like, what do you guys think of season 8? And they look like deers in headlights.
Oh yeah.
And they go, oh, it's great. It's amazing. People are gonna love it.
You gotta understand, he's not working on that show. There is no contract of him. They've licensed his property.
Yep.
He can do and say what he wants about it. Yeah, he's not. Yeah.
I thought it was
that's all.
Okay,
that's
never
all.
mind.
That's all Condell. Condell's
that's
the one.
Why he's. Well, yeah, that's why. You're talking about the last season of Game of Thrones. That was hilarious. Amelia Clark does that, and it's one of the funniest.
Best season ever.
Best season ever. Like she just wants to be like, it was shit. But yeah,
there's a reason that they never had Varys in any interviews. Did you notice that?
Yes, he was pissed.
Mm-hmm.
He was pissed how his character went out.
It was the same thing with when they did the same thing with Selmy.
Yep.
When all of a sudden he was no longer in any of the press tours or anything like that.
Yep.
Because he was just pissed. Like, no. He's just like, he said, I've read the books a number of times. I know where this is going. And it's not me dying in an alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it originally supposed to be Grey Worm that dies in the alleyway, but he was being confrontational with the writers, so they changed that more or less last minute to just kind of fuck with him?
I did not know that.
The actor, because that's a problem. If you're a fan of the source material, and then you tell a writer of the show who's never read the book that you're wrong, they're like, well, I'll sort you out.
Yeah. Yeah,
Same sort of.
he was a very big fan of the books.
Not necessarily. I don't know if the actor for Stannis was also a fan, but that's kind of like why they did some of the shit for Stannis dirty, where the writers were just dicks about it.
I think the problem was they heard so much great stuff about Stannis, because if you've read the books, Stannis is the man, but he's not. I don't even think he's even close to the same character.
No,
in the TV show, like it's almost like it's like an amalgamation of two different characters.
no, and the actor.
I would argue it's a more. It's Stannis from the perspective of someone who doesn't like Stannis. How
Stannis, yeah.
Catelyn or how Renly would have described Stannis, which that is a valid way to interpret Stannis. And if it was solely from the scenes where, like, hey, this is the scenes when you're dealing with Catelyn or Renly, this is the Stannis you get. And then if you get by himself or with Davos, you get more context that makes him a better character. But it's very clear that it is Stannis written by people who don't like Stannis, because Stannis is an objectivist.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, you can even see the way in which the writers and everything were talking about Renly. Like, he was this greatest thing ever. Like, Renly's such a minor character within the thing, but he's given way more reverence than what Stannis is. And the fact of the matter is that, like, I don't mind the actor that did it, but he was terribly cast, because he's supposed to be like a mini Robert. He's supposed to be like he's supposed to be he's supposed to be a 6'4" hunkin' big, like, built like a brick shit house, and like, there's no way that dude's gay.
Yeah, exactly. He hides it, and no one expects it.
Yeah,
and he's supposed to be the next coming of Robert, and he can't. He's not there. He's really actually the opposite of Robert. Stannis is more Robert than Robert or Renly. We never do get to see Renly fight, but we do see him. Like, I want my rainbow guard.
What, didn't he joust at one of the?
No, I don't think I think he would. I think he avoided that.
Oh no, that was his boyfriend, wasn't it? That did it.
Yeah.
That was Loras.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, given that Loras is the knight and knights ride horses, if Renly were to fight, it would need to. Loras would have needed some other beast than a horse to ride, because Renly fighting just doesn't make sense if he's Loras's horse.
Yeah, he's definitely the rar. That
and then he went on to play Iron Fist.
Right. It was a really good. Oh god, that was so sad, dude. You watch Daredevil, and then you watch Iron Fist, who's supposed to be the greatest, one of the greatest martial artists, and he's worse than Daredevil. Anyways, one thing, it's a good way of putting it too, because it's they wrote Stannis misunderstanding the core of the actual character. He believes in, law, he believes in order, and he believes in right. And his right as Robert's heir is to be king, and that's why he gets so, he's angry with his brother, but it's not, he talks shit on him, but he's not like yelling about it. It's just matter of fact. He's very matter of fact. And I think they kind of missed some of that.
I feel like they took his stoicism and they turned it down to nihilism almost.
Yes. And he is the way he goes out, like, he is a brilliant strategist, and the way he goes out is almost like he just said, screw it, we're rushing him. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, Stannis would have done a retreat if he needed to, but they were like, he bends till he breaks. He's like steel, right? No. When it comes, everyone thinks that, but look at what he did with his own with the Navy. When he took, he went up against one of the greatest fighting forces on the sea, the Ironborn, and he defeated them, with something he's not actually, like, that's not his forte. He's just very smart. He's very, he really adapts to the situation.
Yeah. He's a great planner, but unlike a lot of great planners, he's even better at adapting when things don't go well.
Yes. Yeah.
But it was the reason that he was able to hold off during the war for months and months until Ned and that came in.
Yep.
Because everything that was being thrown at him, he was able to go around and find another reason to survive, another way.
And look what he's doing up in the north right now, digging, drilling holes into the lake and making it seem like the village is, over on the lake when it's really not. Like, he's really smart about using the terrain. Yeah. Yep.
To write
But
a
sure, he's
character
gonna
that's
sacrifice.
smart.
He's gonna sacrifice his daughter for one day of snow,
Yeah.
of reprieve from the snow. Do nothing with it, and then when it hits again, charge head first into it.
Yeah, exactly. What were you gonna
And then
say,
he's gonna
Shadow?
lay against a tree. Like, this is the thing that also on the show it was so dumb. It's just like, oh, you killed Renly with a smoke ghost. He's like, yeah, all right, do your duty.
Yeah.
This is the part where we turn around and go, what the hell are you talking about? What's smoke ghost?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Like,
You never saw it.
no. That's the thing. Like, he doesn't know about that. He just knows something happened, and like, it's a really, I don't know. I feel like when you get a character that is so written on page, maybe it just doesn't transfer because you get a lot of not so much his inner thoughts, but the inner workings of his
Just
mind,
bad
which is hard
writing.
to translate.
It's bad
Well,
writing.
the thing about Stannis is we don't get his inner writings in the books. We only ever see his
So I'm saying
perspective.
we don't
from
get
other
that, but
people.
we get a sense of him because all we do is we see him through the lens of the others.
Yeah.
Well, I honestly think of Stannis very much in the same way. Not a one-to-one, because it's an example of someone misunderstanding the character created rather than a character they're adapting, but Rorschach from The Watchmen, where
Oh yeah.
both men are absolute objectivists, where good is good, bad is bad. No, and you tally it up. You can do acts of good and you can do acts of bad, but there's no way to get rid of the bad you did, and there's no way to get rid of the good you did. And the thing is, and I would assume Dumb and Dumber are like Alan Moore, where they cannot fathom such a worldview like that of this just objectionable objective morality that Stannis operates on. And that's like why people can't look at, like, whenever people argue Stannis is a bad person, because yeah, Davos saved him, but then he takes his hand. How could he do that? He
Right.
made him a lord because he saved him in his time of need, but he also violated the king's laws to do so, so he has to suffer the punishment
Well,
of a smuggler.
even that, he violated the king's law when he was pirating pretty much before that. So he got caught, he actually gave himself up by bringing that stuff in. So you're absolutely right. Stannis's rule of law. Okay, you did this. I'm taking your fingers from the knuckles. He could have killed him for what he did, but he said this is probably the least of the law. Like, this is what you're going to get your penalty, but also here's your knighthood.
Well,
So
I would
like,
say it's not even. I would say it's not even the he's by the law, by the books, because he does certain things that you can't square away because within the law. Like, for instance, offering John the position of King of the North.
right.
Legally speaking, you can't do that. He's a member of the Night's Watch. But in the spirit of the law, this is Jon Snow did this heroic thing in the spirit of the law. You reward heroic deeds.
Yeah,
And
but by
then,
then
like,
he is turning from his own usual way. Like, by that time in the book, he's starting to do things more unlike Stannis. You know what I mean? So like, they never let him develop the way he was supposed to. For the longest time, he was, this is the rule. This is my right. But as a king, he felt he had the right to do what he did. And you are his last remaining son, even though you're a bastard. I'm going to legitimize you. I don't give a crap about the Night's Watch, which he shouldn't have done, but you see him changing into a king. It's weird. You're right. He shouldn't have done that.
I mean, technically he can, because in the context of a absolute monarchy, which Westeros is, which is kind of funny given it's got more high medieval, late medieval vibes, which should be more parliamentary-ish, but
Yeah.
it's a fantasy series. He is the king. His word is writ. He can do
Right.
whatever the fuck he wants so long as he's got the biggest sword. So
Yep.
it's all about the spirit of the law whenever he
Yeah.
decides to do something rather than the actual intent of the law.
Truth. Yeah, you're right. John's doesn't die when in the book before he asks him though. Yeah, you're right. But we'll wrap this up because Catelyn still sucks. And we'll do some trivia with Mr. Grant Gregory.
Sounds good.
All right, wait a minute. Let me get my thing up here. Where is it?
Alrighty then, I'll get it.
Yeah, you get ready.
Sorted.
You're gonna get sorted. I know I have trivia music.
Trivia.
Trivia.
It's actually a Song of Ice and Fire trivia, but Game of Thrones works as well.
In the house of the dragon,
That's not it. Here it is.
To the Game of Thrones trivia quiz. Put your knowledge to the test. It's time to be the best. From Winterfell to King's Landing, the battle is on. Do you have what it takes to claim the Iron Throne?
Do you?
Game of Thrones trivia time. It's your chance to shine. Unveil the secrets, conquer the seven kingdoms. Show your love for the thrones. Let your knights reign. Game of Thrones trivia time. Game of Thrones trivia time. It's time to slay the game.
Yeah, it's time.
Swords and dragons, let's start
Okay.
fighting.
Thank you, trivia time. It is time to play the game. Woo! All right.
Alrighty, so it's pretty simple. I'll yeah, so
Is it-
it's
we're playing
a
by
little
that
bit
rule?
different.
Okay.
It's a
then
little
I'm
bit,
gonna-
a little bit. Basically, everything is just a round one sort of thing.
Okay.
So 1 point per each thing. Because Shadow, because you're not on screen. When I ask the questions, I'll get you to answer first. Scotty, do you have anything that you can, like a whiteboard or anything you can?
I got some paper.
Yep. Alrighty, so they'll be in just a bunch of different sections, random questions
if you
with
give me-
random.
If you give me like 2 seconds, I can grab my whiteboard and turn my screen on.
All right, sweet. All right, even better.
Yeah, it's just gonna be actually. I don't know where the fuck my whiteboard is, so I'll just use some paper.
Yep.
I'm moving out next Monday, so
Oh,
a lot of everything's kind of fucked. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Alrighty. All right, yeah. So pretty
Also-
pretty straightforward. It consists of 4 to 5 rounds, depending on how much time we get and what the scores are.
Mhm.
Each question's worth 1 point. They will vary from really easy questions where you're like, I can't believe you've asked that one, to who the hell is that guy?
Mhm.
These are based on the books, but there's also going to be a few TV questions thrown in there as well.
And
The
you
ones
will
that are the
tell
TV
us.
questions, I will let you know based on the TV show this question.
Gotcha.
And chat, you can play along as well. So what I'll do is
I'm
I'll
not
ask
looking at the chat.
2 or 3 questions at a time, and then we'll get the answers for that, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
I'll just bring up a thing so I can tell you the scores. But what I'll do is Shadow, because you're the guest. I'll get you to pick between group A, B, C, D, or E.
Let's go E because easy company.
Oh.
E. All right, sweet. All right, so good.
Yeah.
Shadow.
Finished Band of Brothers the other week. It's pretty damn good.
That was your
Yeah.
first time seeing it?
Yeah, first
it's
time
amazing.
it's new on Netflix, and that was like the first time I've had a chance to like sit down and watch it, and it was pretty good.
As you said, he's a Zoomer. He would have been a baby when
Yeah,
that came
that's
out.
true. That's true. It's one of the
So-
best. It's one of the best about
Yeah,
World War
yeah.
II or even war series or movie ever.
It's very good.
Mhm.
All right, so
Sound like the mountain, and I look like Jojen. Go fuck
Yeah.
yourself, Skidwalker. I could put my hat on, so I look either like a Peaky Blinder or a damn
Oh,
milk
that's
boy, if
good
you'd
one.
like. Actually, I'll go do that.
okay.
I'll go do that.
What is the name of the place that Arya does her training in Bravos? All right, so that's question 1. So I'll do 3 questions at a time.
Sorry, what was the question?
Alright.
I was getting my hat because I was being insulted by the chat.
What is the name of the place that Arya does her training in Bravos?
Mm.
Alright.
Gotcha. And this is by the book, right?
This is by the book. Yep.
Yep.
I'll let you know when there's a TV one. So.
Gotcha. Just making sure. Thank you.
Alrighty. So this one's going to be really, really hard. So,
Okay.
what is the motto of House Stark?
Oh my god.
I could not tell you.
Okay. All right. Third question. What
Okay.
is the specific name of the wildfire cache hidden beneath King's Landing?
Okay, say that one more time.
What is the name of the wildfire cache? Like the collection
Cache.
of wildfire cache
Yep.
or okay, sorry, yeah. You say cache, it's weird, but yeah. Okay, I'll say it. What is the name of the wildfire cache hidden beneath King's Landing called?
I didn't even know it had a name.
I'm taking a wild guess. And I may have misspelled an American city by doing that.
Alrighty, you got all your answers?
Yes,
give
I
me a
do.
second.
All right, you good, Scotty?
Yeah. All right.
All right. So I asked you, what was the name of the place that Arya did her training at in Bravos? Shadow, what did you have?
Off memory, it was the House of the Black and White.
And Scotty, what do you have?
House of Black and White.
That is correct for 1 point
Alright.
each. All right, the second one. What is the motto of House Stark?
Oh,
Scotty,
okay, sorry. What? House
the
of
motto of House Stark.
Winter is coming, bitch.
And
I
Shadow?
got Hear Me Roar. I got Hear Me Roar.
That is
All right.
Obviously,
Yes.
I got Winter is Coming. Obviously,
Oh,
I got Winter is
damn it.
Coming.
I was
Memes.
hoping you were like retarded or something. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I am.
Oh.
Just not for this.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. What is the name of the wildfire cache hidden beneath King's Landing called? Shadow?
The Manhattan Project.
And Sporking.
I put Aries Funhouse.
No, it was in fact just called Wildfire.
You son of a bitch. I almost put that. I almost was like, I don't know, wildfire. Okay, that's great.
All right.
Green beans.
Aussie trickery.
Eskimo winter.
So-
Okay.
All right. So next 3 questions. What is the region that is ruled from Seaguard?
What is the region that is ruled from Seaguard?
Oh shit. Why am I blanking?
Why the fuck am I thinking of Skyrim names?
Seaguard? Okay.
I'm like picturing it in. I'm picturing the landmass in my head.
Alrighty. Next question.
I can't even think right now. Okay, go.
Who was the last known Blackfire male? Notice I said the word male.
Yeah.
Who was the last known? There is if you want a hint, there is a hint with this one. Because all the extremely hard ones I do have hints with if you need
I
it.
know the second half of his name. I can't remember his first half. Oh, shit. Sounds like that. But it's not. Well,
You mean the Blackfire part?
yeah. I remember,
Yeah, I remember
the
the Blackfire
second-
part because it's in the name.
No. Like maybe his nickname, I guess.
All right. The
yeah.
hint is he was killed during the War of the Nine Penny Kings.
Yeah, I know that. Something.
I think I remember this based off of a CK2 run I saw a while back, where a bunch of
Yep.
motherfuckers just took their fan favorite characters and stuck them in the Riverlands.
All right. The next question. This is a television question.
Mm-hmm.
What is the full name of the maester executed by Qyburn in season 6?
The Maester?
That Qyburn killed in season 6.
Six.
All right, and pens down.
Okay.
Alrighty.
For the record, I was writing this down as Johnny typed it, so I did not steal it from him if this is the right answer.
Son of a bitch. Oh, that's what I put too. So let's go with that one first because I just saw it. I put Pycelle.
All right, so what's the full name of the maester executed by Coburn?
Grand Maester Pycelle.
Yeah.
Alrighty, he's both got a point for that one. All right, so what is the region that is ruled from Seaguard?
Yes.
Is it the Ironborn?
It's the Riverlands.
Oh, yeah. Wait,
yeah, it's in the river. Yeah, Seaguard. It's like that territory with like I'm blanking on their name, but they've got like the water horses for their sigil. They're up in like the northwest part of the Riverlands.
But they don't run the Riverlands.
Right, but it's in the Riverlands.
Wait a minute. Ask the question again. How did you say it?
What is the region that's ruled from the Sealands?
Or from Seagarden?
From Seaguard.
Sorry, Seaguard. Yep.
Oh, what region it's in? Okay,
Yeah.
I would have because I thought you meant like who, like the major house.
Oh,
whole thing. So I was like, well, River Run does the Riverlands, so maybe I'm okay. That's
yeah. I thought you were talking about a specific name, like how if I remember, like the Umbers run the.
All right, I'll try and be a little bit more specific.
Like if you said,
that's on us being retarded for thinking you were doing a trick question. Sorry about that. That's on us.
No.
All right. So who was the last known Blackfire male? What did you guys have?
Varys.
Who?
Varys. Bald. Head like an egg.
No, I had. I screwed up his first name. It's not Annie's. Annie's the monstrous. It's something the monstrous. I just can't remember because he had like a big head and the little head. I just can't remember his first name.
You're the right character. It's Malus.
Monstrous. Annie's Malus.
I could not remember which Blackfire was the last one, so I was just like, well, Varys is probably a Blackfire.
That's a good way
let's go with
Varys from the female line. He is from the female line. So
the next.
But you're right.
Next
he is
one.
The last male. Oh.
Okay. What is the name of the mutineer who drinks wine from a skull on the TV series?
The mutineer
who drinks wine from a skull.
I can be a little bit more. I can be a little bit more specific.
Son of a bitch! I know who you're talking about. What the fuck was his name?
From the TV series, a mutineer that drinks wine.
Craster's Cape.
The Night's Watch. Yeah, the Night's Watch dude.
Oh, okay.
Like I was talking about how it was like in Flea Bottom or Penny Bottom or something like that. Like you could pay him a penny and he would put a man down. And I'm trying to remember his name.
Shit. And the worst part is I see the guy who acted in the show too.
You can definitely see his nose.
Well, I can remember the fact that he was kicking John's ass with a fucking knife.
Yep.
That dude could solo the Night King.
I think we could.
Next one.
Okay.
What is the identity of the Knight? What was the identity of the Knight of the Laughing Tree?
Who the people think is?
I said, who was it?
Okay.
That one is so much easier than the random dude with that likes drinking skulls or drinking wine from skulls.
So I said there are varied questions. It's not all.
Yeah. Well, no, I think because of the first one, I thought you were going by like, what is easiest to what is hardest, based off the first one.
Nope, that's just a mixture. So
yeah, gotcha.
All right, next question. What Bravosi wood is known to resist rot? It goes by two different names, but I'll accept either one of them.
I feel like this is something I should know, given the amount of autism that's in this book, but I don't know off the top of my head, so I'm just going to pass.
All right, and your final question for this group.
Okay.
Which free city is the home of the Faceless Men?
All right. I screwed up the first one.
Alrighty, and pens down. Alrighty, so question 7 was, what was the name of the mutineer who drinks wine from the skull? What did you have, Scotty?
I put with a D. I won't even say that one. Mitch.
Okay, you went
I
with Mitch Shadow.
I have no clue.
I was debating between Mull or Rorge, and then I remembered Rorge was one of the guys from that Arya was dealing with, so I went with
The
Mull.
black cells. Yeah, those are
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
from the black cells.
No, it was in fact Tanner or Carl Tanner.
Tanner. That's such a normal dude name for such an
Yep,
interesting
I know. That's
character.
why I went with that one.
I first wrote down with a D, Digger, not
Yeah.
with the D, because I
Mm.
remember there was like Tanner. I knew there was an and then I was like, screw it, just Mitch, because it's a regular name.
No,
Okay,
well, also the fact that if you had a static at the right time, channel gets fucking nuked. If you said Digger,
Yep.
yeah.
you gotta
All right, so what was the
enunciate very clearly?
All right, next one. What was the identity of the Knight of the Laughing Tree?
Lyanna Stark.
I put.
Scotty?
We do not actually know.
Those are the two answers that I have.
Okay,
So you both get a point. Yeah, so I would have accepted either one because it's heavily hinted.
yeah, it's
That's
Lyanna.
Lyanna Stark, but we
But
don't actually.
It could be other people.
No, it can't.
It could be
Don't be
Ned.
silly.
It could
No.
be Ned.
I mean, it could be Ned. Yeah, I
Howland
said that
Reed.
from the
It
beginning.
could be a couple.
I
Howland Reed.
I thought it
himself
was
from
Ned
getting
because Ned was the
himself-
only one that no one
Yeah,
says that
Ned.
they saw there at the time. So
Right.
That would have been a really interesting twist if Rhaegar chased down the Laughing Knight or the Laughing Tree Knight and takes the helmet off and it's Ned, and then
Yeah,
the
and
rest
then
of the fan theory plays out exactly the same.
Yeah. He
Well, here's the
falls in love
thing.
with them.
That would be a very interesting twist.
He knew it was a Stark, and the only one he could find there was her. So
Yeah.
all right. So what Bravosi wood was resistant to Rod? What did you guys have?
I had
Good
Shade
pass.
of the Evening Tree.
That is incorrect. We were looking for black pine or blackwood.
Mm,
I thought Blackwood was in the north.
Nope.
Oh, that's
That's
Ironwood.
Ironwood.
That's Ironwood.
Yeah.
Ironwood.
It is
Yes.
the
The
blue
one,
leaf
the one
tree
that
is
you're
what I'm-
thinking of, the
Yeah.
one that you're thinking of is the one that is resistant to fire.
The blue
Yeah.
leaf tree is also the Shade of the Evening. So we got it wrong,
Yeah.
Sonny.
It's also very poisonous leaves. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
or
Ironwood is
roots. I can't
awesome.
remember which one it is.
Yeah.
All right. Which
Johnny got
which
it too.
free
He said
city?
Blackwood. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Which free city is home to the Faceless Men?
Bravos.
Or Venice. Which other you'd pick?
Alrighty, so after that round, we have Shadow with 5 points and Spork with 5 points.
Oh, I am not winning.
All right, so how this one works
Cheating,
is
don't worry.
I suck at
I was going to say
remembering
whoever's
things.
in first. Scotty, I'll let you
Yeah.
go first. I need you to pick between group A, B, C, or D. This is your group by yourself.
Oh, shit. B.
All right, B, sweet. All right, so how this works, Shadow, is if he gets one wrong, you get a chance to steal the point.
Okay.
So-
I remember that from the last time I did one of these.
Yep.
Okay.
There's no multiple choice, like it was last time.
Good shot.
So, I will let you know, Scotty. You probably lucked out in the easiest of the categories. I feel like this is the easiest one.
Yeah, I'll probably
Um,
screw it up now. Thanks a
so-
lot. Okay.
Yep. Alrighty. So, question one.
Cheating.
You don't need to do it pen and pad. You can just tell me.
Yeah, I know.
What is the name of Arya Stark's sword?
That would be Needle.
That is correct.
I'll change them up.
What is the capital city of the Seven Kingdoms?
That would be King's Landing.
That is correct.
It's annoying.
Which river forms the western border of the Vale of Arryn?
Shit. We just didn't we? Crap. Why didn't I listen? shit. It's not the Mander. It's the. Is it
Not the Mander.
Trident?
That is correct for 1 point.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
Okay. What island stronghold lies at the mouth of Blackwater Bay and was originally held by House Valerion?
At the mouth. All right. So that would be Driftwood. Or Drift. Oh shit. I said it. I screwed up though. I would.
That is incorrect.
Son of
Shadow
a-
for a chance to skill.
Repeat the
So,
question. Just so
What is the island?
sure I've
What
got
is
it.
the island stronghold that lies at the mouth of Blackwater Bay, originally held by House Valerion?
I know it too. I screwed up.
Based off that last bit originally held, I want to be ballsy and say Dragonstone, even if that's not right.
That is incorrect. Scotty
Driftmark.
almost had it. It's
Driftmark.
Driftmark, not Driftwood.
I don't know
yes.
why I said
Driftmark.
Driftwood, and I wasn't gonna like change my answer because I said it out loud. Idiot.
Because when you said Driftwood,
Yeah.
for what reason my brain thought you meant Drift. My brain heard Driftmark.
Yeah, I said Driftwood,
If
but I
not
meant
Driftmark-
Driftmark. Yeah.
If it's not Driftmark, did the Targaryens take Dragonstone?
They
Is
took
that
it from
All right.
them.
Well,
What
I mean,
is
they
the-
were always in Westeros.
Right,
That's
that's true.
true.
But they came with them, so they
Yeah.
could have kicked them out. Like, oh, you want this one? Get the fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So I'm like, yeah, gamble. Yeah, but I
All right,
should
next
have been paying
question.
more attention.
All right.
What is the birth name of the man
Mhm.
known as Lord Varys?
His birth name. If I go with Stig, it would be different. But would it be Varys?
That is incorrect.
Yeah.
Shadow.
Gamble again. Aegon.
That's what I was gonna say.
That
too.
is incorrect.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
it's
You said that was correct.
Unknown.
Yeah. Okay. I would say it was Varys,
It's
but you're
unknown?
right. Unknown.
It's unknown. So
You're right.
yeah. It's not Varys. We know it's not
It
Varys.
could be
but it's
Aegon.
unknown. Yeah, it could be, but
Aegon.
it's not. So
Son
Damn
of
it.
all right. Which rare wood is used in the construction of the Braavosi ships and it's resistant to rot?
Blackwood.
Oh, yes, that's correct.
Okay.
I forget what order I wrote these in, so
Yeah.
it's
Hey,
just
that's
funny we
fine.
went from that one to the previous one.
Yeah. Yeah, that hooked me up.
All right. In Old Valyria, what deity is associated with death and rebirth and worshipped at in Qohor, I think it's pronounced.
Cohort.
I'll put the name because I can never remember how to spell
Yeah,
it.
Karth or Cohor?
Cohor.
Oh no,
It's one of the-
Cohor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's if I remember geographically right, it's kind of like up in the. It's not one of the main free cities. It's like up in the kind of middle area between Bravos and Leesmere and Valentis.
Shit, I do know this one. Say the question again so I can hear how you said it.
In Old Valyria, what deity, aka god, was associated with death and rebirth and worshipped, and he's worshipped in Qohor?
Um. Shit, the black. I keep hearing in my head the black sheep, but it's not that. Oh shit, the black sheep. I don't know. I can't think of it.
That is
Oh, son of
incorrect.
Bitch, I just looked at the chat and I fucked that up.
Okay. That's making me think. Okay. Ram or goat. Don't look at chat. Gamble, black goat.
Yeah,
goat?
ding ding ding.
Correct.
All right.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I had no idea up until you said black sheep, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, he said
I
black sheep.
couldn't.
Okay,
I
it's not
knew
black
it wasn't
You
sheep,
freaked
but I
out-
couldn't think of another word.
You freaked out at the chat, so I'm like, okay, what's a sheep? A goat or a
Yeah.
ram? And then
Yeah.
just boom.
All right.
That's also the
Who
devil,
is-
by the way.
All right, listen to this one. Who is
Okay.
the first person to stab Daenerys Targaryen in the TV show?
Elaborate.
I would say with a knife or stabber. You're just saying stabber, right? Is this a trick question? Because I want to go with a different one.
There are two different men. It depends on our definition of stab.
That's what I'm saying too, man. I'll say Drogo.
That is incorrect.
Shit, I went with the sexual stab. Okay.
Yeah.
Shadow for a chance to steal?
Because I have like an image in my head around like later end of season 1 that I'm thinking that's it, but I'm trying to remember if there's moments earlier. I want to say Viserys. I want to say Viserys because familial abuse.
That is also incorrect. He cuts her. He does not stab her. The first person to stab her is Jon Snow.
Yeah, I knew it. I was
Damn
just
you,
going with
Grant.
the
You could have
funny-
offered
Damn it.
clarification on what I meant by stab.
I did.
I
I
would've
said,
told
do you
you.
mean a
Nice.
dagger? And then you were quiet.
No, you didn't ask that. You said, I don't know what it means. I was waiting for you to
No,
ask.
and I said, do you mean like a dagger? And you said nothing. So I was like, okay, so maybe it is a dick. All right, that's fine. That's fine.
All right. Who is
All right,
revealed
I
to be
got you.
Jon Snow's real father in the TV show? Full name.
His
Including
full name
title?
is yeah, that's what I'm going with. Crown Prince Rhaegar Targaryen.
Word for word. Correct.
All right.
Hold on, you're
Uh,
missing you're missing Lord of Dragonstone in his title.
Yeah,
No, because he wasn't at the stage.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
was
he was.
Yeah, didn't he rule Dragonstone at the time?
He
I'm
did.
being a dick. I'm being a dick right now.
No, he was.
I'm
He was
like-
the Lord of
That's not his
Dragonstone.
name. That's his title. There's a
Yeah,
difference.
right. Yeah, his
Mm,
name is
okay.
Crown,
Well,
the Crown Prince.
Yeah.
I wasn't actually going to dispute Sporking. I was just being a dick.
No, I like it though. I like it because you're right. Because they wouldn't let his wife and kids go to Dragonstone. Ares kept them. Yeah. Okay. Is that it?
All right. So your last question was, besides Rhaegar Targaryen, who was
Okay.
the other knight that died during the Battle of the Trident? I should say notable knight.
Yeah, I know. A notable knight died at the Trident. Well, there was a couple of them, but one was Martell. Kingsguard Martell, Knight Martell. I don't remember his first name. I'm just gonna say Kingsguard Martell.
That is incorrect.
Oh shit, that's not incorrect. Well, anyways, you can go. Because you are right because his name is something different. All right, we got it. Son of a bitch.
Do I be cheeky and say Sir Martell, or do I be cheeky and say Buzz Aldrin? Buzz Aldrin. No one cares
Alright.
about the second guy. Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is incorrect. It was in fact Sir Jonathan Darry.
Yeah, because he was a prince, Lewin Martell.
Yeah.
That's right.
See,
That's what that
no one
fucked me
ever-
up.
That's
No
why I
one
made it
ever
specifically
remembers the
saying
second guy.
knight, notable knight, not a yeah.
You were right.
So-
But in a way, he's a knight because he is in the King's Guard, right?
Yeah,
That
true.
always
Well-
confused me. That one, yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah,
might
but
be an example.
what
of,
happens?
like-
How it was stated to me that it works is whatever your higher title is precedence all the other ones. So
Right.
you might be a knight, but also a prince, but you only have to do what a prince is. You're not bound by the rules of a knight anymore.
Yeah, but when he joins the Kingsguard, he gives up all titles and lands and all
Yes,
that stuff.
but then when you
That-
but then when you ascend that's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
not
that's
every
a
single
tough
time that you join it.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
have gotten
so-
Derry anyways. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
remembered him. But yeah.
All right, so with
Well,
a couple of
it's
steals,
also-
with a couple of steals that round and Scotty's points, Scotty's ahead by 4 points.
Okay.
All right, Shady, you got A,
Right.
C, or D?
A, C, or D. Alpha, Charlie, or Domino. You know what? Domino Squad. Let's do Domino Squad.
All right.
Star Wars
All
reference.
righty.
I like it. I like it.
Let's do it.
All righty, for your super hard
Swear to
questions
fuck,
to
if-
start off the bat.
If this is only the hard questions, I'm going to Australia, Grant.
It's okay. Which Targaryen was known as the Mad King? Full title.
Uh,
Oh, sorry, full name.
King.
Sorry, full title.
Graham?
That is correct.
Yep. Very good.
Yeah. Goated with the sauce.
Yep. I'll be shocked if you get this one. What is the name of the giant structure that protects the north from the south from the Seven Kingdoms?
Okay, hold on. The structure that defends the north or defends
Yep.
the southern kingdoms from the north. Okay, so all 7 kingdoms. So north, Westerlands,
Mhm.
Riverlands. Okay, that's the wall.
Man, I don't know how you got that. That's crazy.
That was tough. That
I
was,
was
a tough
making
one.
I was making sure you weren't fucking with me and gonna go actually moat Catelyn because
Yeah,
I said defends the south from the or defends
Yeah.
the south from the north or
Ah.
some stupid bullshit. Or
Yeah.
or the twins. Or the twins, because that's technically defending the north from the or the south from the north.
What is the full name and title of the maester who serves at Castle Black?
Full name and title, Prince Aemon the Fourth Targaryen.
That is incorrect.
Son of a bitch.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. It is Maester Aemon Targaryen.
Correct for the steal.
Damn it. Oh, so I didn't have to. Right, because
He was never a
'Cause he
king,
gave
so
up
he
all the
wasn't
titles,
the
yeah.
fourth. Yeah.
Yeah, also he wasn't
right,
the
and he
fourth, but
also
yeah.
and also when he becomes a maester, he gives up his princely titles
Yes.
like a monk does.
Just
But
like
I-
Lewin
I-
Martell
I-
did. Anyways.
Mm.
Right, the honorific maintains when
Yeah.
you're. Yeah, fuck. Okay, that screwed
All
me.
right.
Thank you earlier.
Mm,
Thank you, chat,
what-
for that earlier.
What is the ancestral seat of House Dane?
Dawnstar.
I'll be back in a second.
What was up?
He said he'll be back in a second, and you were
Oh,
incorrect.
no worries.
Incorrect.
What?
You said Downstar?
No, I said Dawnstar.
Dawnstar. Still incorrect.
What?
It's Starfall.
Son of a.
You
Oh,
put like
sorry,
you
I just
put the
had a-
name
I
of the
had a phone call.
weapon and the name of the
I
house.
didn't hear anything that anything was said. So
Oh, okay. So you can go answer it.
No, I said Dawnstar.
that would be incorrect. All right,
Yeah,
Scotty.
no, and then Sporking
chance to
told me the
steal?
correct answer, and I felt like
Starfall.
an idiot.
Okay, yep.
Boom, boom, boom.
Starfall
There's
is
too many
correct.
fucking stars attached to that house.
Yeah,
They-
it's the,
They,
yeah. You
they've
got
a
the sword
fucking,
of
they've
the
got a fucking
morning.
shitter. They've got a fucking shitter called the Starbox. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and up in the Vale, everything's called Sky. So,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
all right. So, question 5: what is the name of the book Tyrion gave to Jon Snow at the Wall?
Tyrion gave. I feel like it's got something to do with the wall, but I can't remember the title. So the Histories of the Seven Kingdoms.
That is incorrect.
Damn it! I'm
And chance to steal,
off my
Scotty.
game.
I'm gonna screw this up. You wouldn't have given him. because that's one of the rarest books in Westeros. Shit.
5 seconds.
Okay, go on. No one's done this 5-second thing before. Septon's Bark, History of Dragons. I don't know.
The history of what?
Dragons.
That is incorrect. We were
Yeah.
looking for a history of the Night's Watch.
I was gonna say that. I am such an
What?
because
Why did I think the wall?
Well, Septon Bart's book wouldn't be given to him because there's like 1 or 2 copies.
I was going to say it's the second rarest book in the.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh, History of the Wildlings or History of the Night's Watch. That doesn't sound right, idiot.
See, I was thinking history, like something about the wall, and I'm like, it's not going to be history of the wall. It's going to be something more specific. So I decided to go gamble with something else.
Alrighty. So, Shadow, this is right up your alley. This is about weapons.
Ooh, I like
What
those.
is the name of the sword that's carried by Sir Adam Marbrand?
The sword carried by Sir Adam Marbrand. Sword carried by Sir. Well, I would need to remember who the fuck Adam Marbrand is first, so pass. Unfortunately.
Okay.
All right, Scotty.
We don't know the name of his sword.
That is correct for 1 point.
Yes, I totally took a shot with that because you've given us.
See,
a
if I had
couple of those.
remembered who this motherfucking Marbrand guy
I
was,
can't remember
might
who
have
he
had
is
a shot.
either. That's why I said that.
Yeah,
damn it.
it's never ever named.
Right.
In any of the materials.
And
I
it's
need to
not. It's
pop
not a
open-
Valerian, is it? It's not Valerian.
It is a
right?
Valerian one.
It is a Valerian steel.
It is a Valerian one. People seem to think that it would the closest one to it that hasn't been shown to be held by anyone would be one called Oathkeeper.
Well,
Gotcha.
Oathkeeper, no, his Oathkeeper is with Brienne of Tarth. I would think it'd be like Lady Florin or what Florin, one of them that was lost.
Or Bright Roller. Yeah,
That one was one of the ones that was lost.
Yeah, Bright.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not Oathkeeper.
No,
Right,
not
right.
Oathkeeper, but that's the thing. That's
Oh.
what people seem to believe based on the description of it.
Really, they think it's Oathkeeper, even though
Yeah,
Brienne
but
has
it was
Oathkeeper.
never actually given a name. It wasn't even given a placeholder name.
Yeah, it's weird.
It was just never named. So,
Okay.
and
This
as I said, the
is
sword was
making me
lost.
have to.
So,
Yeah, this is
All right.
making me have to download a Medieval 2 Total War mod so I can actually get back into the Game of Thrones stuff so I can win one of these.
because you were so good with the book question earlier, I'm giving you another one. What is the full name of the book written by Septon Barth and burned by Baelor? I will accept there is 2 titles for it. I will accept the full title or the abbreviated title.
Baelor the Blessed. Made by Septon, right?
Yes, Septon Barth.
Septon Barth, okay. Septon Barth's History of Dragons, I guess.
That is incorrect.
Oh shit, that's
Okay.
what I would have
I'm
said.
gonna get back to downloading this mod then.
Septon Barth's book on the biology of dragons. I don't remember the name of it. All right, that's what I have.
That is incorrect. You both got the word dragons.
Yeah, I just can't
It's
remember what
dragons, worms, and withers.
it's called. Oh my god, what did I forget?
Those
The-
3 things be in the same book.
The full title is Dragon Worms and Withers, Their Unnatural History.
The unnatural history. Yeah, that's how it's known, though.
So I would accept the full title or the short titles. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
alrighty. Question 8. What is the exact words written on the note Sansa sends to Rob? I want
What is
all
the
17
exact-
words exactly. No, just give me what was written on
Sent to Rob.
Yep.
In the book or in the show?
This is let me double check.
Okay. Well, I need to remember that. I need to remember which.
Sorry, this is in the
letter
TV
did-
show.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right.
Okay, so off memory, I would assume it was a plea for him to surrender and accept Joffrey as king. Is that right?
I'll accept that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
Excellent.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah, I need to crack
Yeah,
those books
it's
for once.
insert-
it-
I would have
it's
said-
not so-
I would have said
It-
Sansa never sent him a letter. It was actually Cersei, but yeah.
yeah.
was in
It's
her
like
handwriting.
I write to you with a heavy heart. Our good King Robert is dead and killed. You need to essentially come
down here.
in.
Yeah.
You know, or I do not know if I will make the night, sort of thing like that. Yeah. So, alrighty. All right. Which Lannister soldier? This is a TV question as well.
Okay.
Which Lannister soldier becomes a loyal servant to Brienne of Tarth?
This one is so damn obvious. It is clearly not the mountain, it's Podrick Payne.
Ah,
It's not
That is
the
correct.
mountain, it's Podrick Payne.
that is correct.
Podrick. He
Sir
is
Podrick
somehow.
I would have accepted
Yeah.
Sir Podrick. I would have also accepted Long Dong Podrick as well.
Yep.
So,
You have to. You have to.
Wait, do you think he's getting paid? Like, do you think his time with Brienne is billable? Like, when he gets done gallivanting in the Riverlands, he shows up to the fucking Lannister army commander and submits all the receipts, and it's like, I've been in the field for 267 consecutive days, serving a night. Here are our receipts, and I'd like my billables, please.
you'll have to. Yes, he's a soldier because he was knighted. So all knights are considered soldiers. So, all right. And last one. What is the exact phrase that Sir Gerald Hightower said to Ned Stark before drawing his sword on him?
Sir Gerald Hightower.
This is according to Eddard's dream.
I
This being an extremely hard one, there is a hint
Mhm.
if you need it.
would like the hint because the only I'm only thinking
Yeah.
the scene between Dane and
Yeah. So this exchange, it's a two-part of the conversation. This exchange occurs just before the fateful duel between Ned and the remaining members of the King's Guard, that is guarding Lyanna Stark.
Oh, so it is what I was thinking. So it begins, to which Ned replies, no, this is how it ends.
I'll give it to you. Yep, that's
That
correct.
wasn't it. All right, go ahead.
Yeah,
What
that
was
is
the
correct.
actual?
Yeah.
What was the actual answer?
And now it begins.
Now it begins.
Now it
Yeah.
begins. Okay, I was.
But you also
okay.
got the second part, and it's like, no, now it ends.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I okay.
Yeah.
Like I was like, there's no way in hell that's what I'm thinking of, and then you mentioned, yeah, it's when they're about to fight him at the Tower of Joy. And I'm like, well, that's the only real exchange between the two, so I kind of need to go with that.
all right. So after
right.
that round, Scotty's ahead with 13, and Shadow's on 10.
Mm.
Yeah, I did.
Problem is, I have to end it. I'm sorry.
All right, and that's
Uh,
it. So Scotty wins.
yeah,
Play
my
the
bad,
Scotty
dude.
winning song.
No, you're good.
My bad. I have to end it. I have to get up early for work. But damn, man, I forgot how
Actually,
much fun
technically,
trivia
I think
can
the
be.
chat's on like 13. So
Yeah,
I think they win.
I think the chat beat me. There was a couple they got like dairy and stuff like that they killed me on. Blue waffle, black goat. I mean, I can't believe I got black goat wrong. But thank you guys for being here tonight. Let's all remember that Catelyn Stark sucks. Shadow, let them know where they can find you, buddy.
Hey everyone, I am the Shadow of the Hawk. You can find me on random streams. For instance, Screaming into the Void this Saturday over on Semi the Infamous. That's the place you can find me. And then next Monday will be my D&D stream. Hopefully, finals are done this week, so I shouldn't have any
Yay.
interruptions. Will be another episode of Sword Coast and Sorcery, where my players are going to be trying to clear out a dungeon and recover some unlawfully stolen absconded property. So that should be fun to deal with.
Always
And
good time.
then random stuff on my channel over at Shadow of Hawk 55. You can also check out my takes, some of them good, some of them bad, some of them schizo, over on Twitter. And hopefully with summer, meaning work, which means I can sit with my computer and pretend to work, I can actually bust out some more projects in regards to writing. So hopefully some more activity on my coffee page. That's about it.
Good job, man. Thank you for
Thank
being here. Grant, anything you would like to say? Thank you for doing the trivia, man, as always. That's awesome. We'll have to do it again next month.
Yep. So yeah, I got full Aussie this weekend, and I got Happy Hump Day tonight with the boys. So
Yeah,
we're
happy hump
watching-
day with the
yeah.
boys. What time's that
should be
at?
fun.
Or how
that
long
is-
from now?
In approximately 10 hours.
10 hours from now. That's great. Yeah, man, I gotta schedule a Saturday with you guys, and definitely take a day off to join you, because that the Aussies are a lot of fun to hang out with. But we're gonna end it here, boys. Thank you to the chat. You guys rocked. You guys definitely won. I hope you all have a great night. Thursday, I'm gonna be back. I think I might just do what's going on with our favorite Hollywood stuff, or I might play the game again. I don't know how people felt about the game. I had a freaking blast playing that Game of Thrones game, but we'll see what people say. Other than that, peace out, everybody, and have a great night. Later.
Where's the best place for content on the world of Ice and Fire?
Right over there. See where I am pointing with my dagger? I just found
Sporking News Podcast with me,